And we are back. Another episode of The Chris Gray Show. I am your host with the most, Chris Gray. How are you doing? I am doing fine. Thank you for asking, right? Got a jam-packed show for you, right? Got a jam-packed show for you, right? And it's been a trying week. I recorded last week, right? And it was just not good. I looked like shit on the camera. Nigga face wasn't looking right. Shit. But today we'll start anew. We will say happy birthday to my mother. Happy birthday to this beautiful woman right here. Shout out to her. We'll be partying later on. We're not gonna say her age, of course. But if I'm old, then she old. But shout out to her. Real quick, Ayesha Curry. She has been she was in the news a lot last week. Right. Cause she's been saying things that a lot of people have not been agreeing with, right? First and foremost, I watched that whole hour and some change Call Her Daddy interview. Watched the whole fucking thing. Right? Seen the whole fucking thing. Fine. Right. Some takeaways. One, Ayesha Curry is a silly / goofy woman. You can't really tell when she's being serious and when she's not being serious. I think Steph knows the woman that he married. I think Steph is perfectly okay with helping her navigate her, what it looks like an identity crisis, right? But again, this woman has over 500,000 subscribers on YouTube, right? Life is hard, but it's tough to empathize with a bunch of people who are in their eyes poor, right? We can't empathize with Ayesha Curry's rich people issues, right? Because we're like, you got everything. It's crazy. I don't think she really gives a fuck about what a lot is being said about her, because she knows she doesn't really regret having her kids. She didn't even say that. She doesn't regret marriage. She didn't even say that either. So she didn't know a lot of those things were going to happen for her, and that's perfectly fine, right? And a lot of times, like what she said was fairly human, right? I'm in a situation. I didn't know I was going to be in a situation. The situation has taken me all over the world. I'm blessed beyond measure. But at the time, I was on my way to becoming me, right? And my life took a hard left, and this. So now I'm trying to come back and find myself. The trouble is trying to find herself in front of all of us. So now naturally, we are going to have an opinion or two. Content creators are really getting their lives off with this shit. I think it's interesting when the truth is a lot more juicier, pause, right? Because you're dealing with the woman who's suffering identity crisis. You're dealing with the woman who is rich. It's rich people problems, but at the same time, though, she's still facing hurdles as to what type of woman she want to be and all that shit. Like, I get it. I mean, I don't get it, but I sympathize, right? No, I don't even understand how one can watch that interview and get, oh, she regrets having a family. Like, that doesn't make none of that shit makes any fucking sense. So I don't get that part, but that's the Curry dilemma, right? And she's attractive, and it's crazy. I watched Joe Budden and them just totally just fuck the entire narrative up of, like, it was just crazy that to listen to people who's supposed to be informed on the topics that they're supposed to be talking about just totally just be misinformed on everything. No one watched that interview. They went off the 2-minute clips that's going around, the couple-minute clips that's going around, no context. They're adding their own context. And I'm not just talking about Joe and them. I'm talking about a lot of content creators are just adding their own context to what she is saying, when I personally believe what she actually is saying is better for content, right? Some chick said she needed to go through a hoe phase. Like, Right. I don't like words. I don't like phrases like that. I don't like whole phase. I don't like situationships. I don't like the talking stage. I just think those are just words. They don't mean shit. The talking stage. What the fuck does that even mean? Right. I could talk when we're talking. I can't talk to anybody else. Who are you to put any type of rules or regulations on how I move around this world? Who the fuck are you? Right. A lot of that shit is for people who don't know how to date to cope with the rigors of dating. Because when you are dating someone, they can't date whoever they want, right? When you are casually fucking someone, they can fuck whoever they want, right? When you're casually talking to someone or just getting to know someone, they could be getting to know 8 or 9 people at the same time. When you're taking that bitch out on a date, she could be going out on 4 or 5 other fucking dates, right? When you fucking that bitch, you could be fucking a whole bunch of other different bitches. Like it works on both sides, right? One side would lead you to believe it's only happening on one side, but you know, men don't speak. Drake's case was thrown out. That UMG bullshit he was on, thrown out. I think it was great. I think it was really great, right? A lot of people think that Drake is quote unquote fighting the good fight, right? And I think that is interesting, right? Because I think the people who think that are anti hip hop all the way around. They like listening to rap music, but they're anti hip hop, right? I seen people say that, you know, because Joe Bud, I talk about Joe Budden a lot, but Joe and them had a different stance on it, and Flip tried to catch some hypocrisy out of Joe because Joe's not standing. He's not at least understanding why Drake sued, but it's not like niggas understand why he sued, right? I perfectly understand. I just don't agree with none of it, right? It's a bullshit case to save face, and it was thrown out. They was disrespecting this nigga with every headline that came out about that case. They was just shitting all over this nigga's case, this nigga's reasoning and stuff like that, right? So it doesn't really mean anything. Really, Drake still is a great artist, but he looks a little weathered. He looks a little weathered. Like that battle has taken a toll on him. The last 2 years have taken a toll on him. He's wearing it on his face. Meanwhile, I've maybe seen Kendrick I saw him at the Amazon shit. I saw him at the Super Bowl. I saw the Not Like Us video, and I saw him win Grammys. That's like four different occasions, right? When I seen him win Grammys, I didn't even hear what he said. I didn't even hear his acceptance speech. I still haven't heard it yet. So to me, Kendrick hasn't said a word in almost 2 years. That is a level of peace and happiness that I wish to achieve. Because a lot of you niggas will pull that phone up so fucking quick and get to talking on it, right? Just as quick as I will with this motherfucking camera. Shout out to Kendrick. Compton all day long. Yes, I'm from Compton, California. We've all heard the phrase. We all heard that saying, a man will sacrifice his happiness for his family, and a woman will sacrifice her family for her happiness. Right? A lot of times we get into that. This is wrong. This is the women are wrong and all that shit. There's no right or wrong answer to that. Right? It's just that if you're pro family, then you look at the women like shit, and if you're pro me or you're pro person, then you will applaud for the women. I get it. It makes sense. I get it. It's all about where you fall on, right? Does it paint women to be deeply selfish? It does. Especially when there's kids involved, right? If because me and my ex-wife, we broke up, we didn't have no kids. So she can prioritize her happiness all day long. She can say, hey, I'm not happy no more, then she can leave. Ain't shit I can do about it. That's it. That's not how it went down. But if she came to me and said, yo, I'm not happy anymore, I want to divorce, I'm not going to fight that. All I would have said was okay, right? You can't. Why would you, like, if a person tells you they don't want to be with you, just believe them. Don't try to get them to convince you otherwise. That's, nigga, grow some balls. That's for men and women. Um, well, I think we have an unhealthy fixation with happiness, right? I think that we all want to be happy, and we all think that we can be happy like 24 hours a day, and we think that it's other people's jobs to maintain our happiness, right? When I hear a woman say they left because they were unhappy, it usually means they want to be free from a level of control, right? That they feel like have been exerted on them, and they want to be free of that shit, right? I get it, right? Because that could change a person, and no one wants to have anything. No one wants to be controlled in a relationship, right? You want to do the controlling. If I knew what the rim shot was, I would fucking press it on the fucking thing. But I think that we have a fixation with just, we think we can be happy all the time. And I think it's so unrealistic to believe that you can be happy all the time, right? What's more important is, what do you do when you are not happy? How do you, how do you cope, right? What do you do, right? I'm more like I'm like the Incredible Hulk and shit, to where I'm angry like all the time. I think most men are functioning with some low level of anger, like most of the time, right? How we manage it manifests itself every single day, right? I am a really low key guy. I don't like a lot of attention. So I'm not gonna cause anything to warrant a lot of attention. So I keep all my shit down really low. So my anger is really low. It might pop up every now and then, but for the most part, it's really low. Um, so I'll say that for the men, but for women, I think women believe that they can maintain a state of constant happiness or consistent happiness, right? And that's unrealistic, especially when everybody has problems and hurdles that they face, right? I'm not talking about rich, poor. I'm talking about like everybody. Rich niggas, poor niggas, in the middle niggas, tall niggas, fat niggas, skinny niggas, all that shit. Everybody has challenges, right? So it's impossible for anybody to be happy all the fucking time. So we need to I think we should get away with being happy and just being more like human, right? Instead of trying to face or try to fight every challenge with like robot shit, docileness, like we don't show emotion, we just always happy and shit. Like, I think it's fucking stupid. So yeah, a crazy fixation with happiness. I just think that I think a lot of times though, what we see online, right? I look at a lot of women online, and I don't follow a lot of women online, right? I open up threads, and there's a beautiful woman right when I open this shit up, right? Beautiful, beautiful, right? I scroll down, more beautiful women, right? I remember I said that I said a lot of women that I'm attracted to don't live in California, and a lot of ugly white women came to California's defense as if I was like shitting on them. Reading comprehension is okay. Fuck all the other shit I was talking about. Reading comprehension. Oh my god. Responding to posts immediately with emotion. I have a woman trauma dumping on me right now. For whatever reason, I don't know. Write two, 3 long paragraph comments and shit. I don't read none of that shit. If I see a comment that's a paragraph long, I'm gonna read the first 2 words and I'm going to read the last 3 words. And that's it. I'm not gonna read the middle part. I'm not gonna read none of that shit. So I'm gonna comment on whatever those 5 words make up. That's what I'm gonna comment on. I'm gonna say something back. I always do. But I'm gonna make sure I comment on the last 3 things and the first 2 things. Motherfucker said. Because I don't give a shit. I don't take comments serious like that. You know, I had to get out of that mindset of like going back and forth with people and shit. So now if I do find myself going back and forth, we're just gonna joke and laugh, and I don't take none of these niggas serious, none of that shit. Like, we're not doing none of that shit. And that's my fixation with happiness.